Hey everyone, this is your favorite radio host, your only radio host, Corinne Lafont, on Between the Lines, broadcasting to you yet again from Trinidad and Tobago. It's beautiful out, and I'm thankful to be alive, to be able to be here to do another radio show with the lovely Leah Lindemann. Beautiful she is. See, I'm not even showing myself, I'm showing my picture to kind of match up with hers live, because if I were to show my own live self, it wouldn't look as good as how she's looking right now. So I'm using my nice picture with makeup and everything, to give the impression that I do look that way every day. But but Leah is in her natural self, beautiful as she is, and she is in Canada right now, Ontario, she says. So you'll get to learn a little bit about her. And as young as she is and beautiful, she has 4 lovely children. Nice. It's great to have them young, like I was telling her off air. So you can grow with them and they can grow with you. Yeah? So when they're walking on the road, they can say, that's my sister, not my mom, right? Because you're too young to be the mom, right? According to traditional thinking. So we're going to be talking today about, what are we talking about today? I just brought that up a while ago. Traditional or self-publishing, what's the right fit for you? Very good topic. A lot of people have been asking me that. And as a publisher, people are trying to make the decision whether they go traditional or self-publishing. And I have written an article in the Jamaica Gleaner about that, very extensive. And even though I did, people are still asking. And I'm glad that Leah is on with me today to discuss that. She must have gone through, the question and answer phase as well. And we're going to learn from her which route she took and why, and what she would recommend for aspiring authors. Yeah. So let me tell you a bit about Leah before she starts talking. Let me get her bio here. Leah Lindemann worked towards her first publication for 5 years while raising 3 young children. Now she has 4. She graduated with honors from the Institute of Children's Literature. Being a history buff, she decided to combine her 2 loves of literature and history to write a historical fiction called Redeemed. You'll see that in a bit. She is the debut author of Redeemed from the Ashes and is presently getting her 2nd novel ready for publication for the fall of 2018. So I'm going to switch over now to sharing a screen so that you can see. Where is it? Yes, here it is. You can see her lovely website, leahlindemann.wordpress.com, and she's going to switch it to leahlindemann.com soon. So if you try to get on leahlindemann.wordpress.com and you don't, she may either redirect it to her new site, leahlindemann.com, or you can just go straight to leahlindemann.com. She's going to be working on that soon. So Leah, welcome to Between the Lines.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all. So you're mixing literature and history. What's up with that?
Well, when I was in high school, history was my favorite subject. And
Ew, who does that?
I just love it. And it's not so much the dates and people who did what, but more the why behind the history, why things happened, why movements happened, how they affected us, how they affect us as a culture today, which it does.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I actually learned from an American curriculum, so I'm very knowledgeable in American history and world history, but not Canadian history. And well, I thought that was kind of sad because I'm a very patriotic Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually found out about this particular story for my first book, which is based on the Halifax explosion of 1917 during World War I on the home front. And I found out about this particular story on a camping trip. My dad had read about it in the newspaper. And then he started telling me about the story. And I thought, how could I have not known this? It was too big of a story not to know. And when I go on book signings now, I ask a lot of people if they know about this, and I would say 80% of them don't know about this either. So it is not a subject that is not well known, and yet it was so detrimental to Halifax itself. I don't know if you are familiar with the story at all.
No. You want to give us a sort of synopsis?
Sure, quick synopsis. So on the home front in Halifax, there is a strait of water called the Narrows, and two ships collided. One was full of ammunition, and
Whoa.
it was so devastating that the entire city was leveled.
Whoa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, there have been many recounts of soldiers saying that the home front just looked just as bad as the war front in Europe. So that's how devastating it was.
Whoa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I heard about that story, it just stuck with me. It wouldn't leave me. And then I started coming up with a story and characters that fit within that.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Now you did history, and there's always this phrase that says history repeats itself. What are your
Yes.
thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Have you, as a history buff, as you call yourself, have you seen? You said you understand. You like to understand the why. It's not about the dates or the people, but it's more the reasoning behind it. You have been exposed to history. Do you find that that statement is true? That history repeats itself?
Yes, for sure.
Hmm.
I think, and it's mostly to do because of us, who we are as humans. We tend to relapse into human ways, which can be very devastating sometimes if we don't catch
Mhm.
ourselves. And I mean, you have racism, you have slavery, you have all these detrimental worldviews that we think sometimes are not really present in today, but then if you really take a good look around, you can still see it today. And
Mhm.
it happened in the past, and we keep working, we keep going on these movements to try to eradicate those things and stop those things, but
Mhm.
it does repeat itself,
Yes,
unfortunately.
cyclical, cyclical. But I
Yeah.
see a shift, a bit of a shift in that happening, especially like racism and, this whole class, caste type of thing. I see a shift happening and an awakening. And I think it was always there. It's just that people were kept at bay to talk about it, to bring it out into the open. So people are becoming more open, more vocal, more expressive, whatever the word may be. All of them are synonyms, about issues. They're not holding back because of who they are. And some of them, especially like celebrities, are leveraging
Yeah.
their position, their status to get the word out because, and some of them are risking a lot in order
Exactly.
to talk about it. And that's the thing with history. Who, these characters, the times, who is willing to really risk. That's what history is about. Heroes, heroines,
Exactly.
shaking up the status quo. Who is really prepared and willing to take the risk to stand up for what they believe in, and to what lengths are you willing to do that?
Exactly. And you see those cycles in history. I mean, if you take a look at the medieval ages, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that, what do you have? You have the Renaissance, which was the
Right.
big knowledge. And then you have a darker period. And then through that comes a lighter period because people wake up and they say, it shouldn't be this way.
Mm-hmm.
So even in the cycles, history repeats itself.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't mean that there's no hope. It's just depending on the age that you live in and the culture that you live in. But no, it's good to see, as you said, people are being aware of what's going on. And as you said, they're being more vocal about it and they're becoming braver. And that's a beautiful thing to say.
Yeah, yeah. So we are talking about, you publish your book. Did you go traditional or self-publishing?
I'm an indie author with this novel.
Okay. You went which way? Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, an indie. I'm
Okay.
an indie author, which means
Okay,
that I
so you went
self-publish.
self-publishing, right. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you would have looked at going traditional or self-publishing. Why,
I
what helped you to make the decision of self-publishing?
So I actually wasn't even thinking about self-publishing until a friend of mine who knew that I had written a novel, he self-published, and he said, you should really, really, really go self-publishing. And I
Mm-hmm.
was very opposed to the idea just
Mm-hmm.
because of all the ideas that I had about traditional publishing, and I was really kind of gearing for that.
Right.
The more I looked at it, I took a good year after I finished editing all my novel to take a look at how to market yourself and then the differences between traditional and self-publishing.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to go self-publishing for a lot of the pros that self-publishing offers, which for me, a big one was total creative control.
Right.
And also just because my book was ready, I just wanted it out there right away. I didn't want to have to go through the whole waiting process of the traditional publishing, which takes it could take up to many years, just depending, like, you know, there's, you have to, because if you want to go with a big traditional publishing house, you have to go through an agent. So you have to go through many, many rejections, which I did try at first. I actually queried about 25 times.
Wow.
So I sent query letters to agents and I got rejected every time, and that's okay.
We have to laugh. We have to laugh at that, because that is normal. That is just normal.
Yeah. We hope, right, that we're the lucky one that gets the lucky break. That's going to be right away. Yes, we're going to take you. Yeah. But no, I was actually looking at the numbers, and you have to expect at least 50 to 100, maybe more.
Yes.
So I already knew what I was getting myself into, but that's it. So you have to find an agent, which can take up to a year and a half, depends. And then then your agent has to take your book and has to find traditional publishers that want to take it. So that can take a while. And then once they take it, you have to go through all the edits with their editor, which takes a while. And then after that, then they have to prep it, which takes a while until it finally gets onto the shelf. So that's about 2 to 3 years, maybe more. It just depends on.
Yeah, minimum. Sometimes it takes 2 years before they can get back to you, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, before they could get back to you when you submit it, you know, as a query. I mean, and remember, it's a business, and they have to look at the books that would really help to generate sales, get eyes on it, because they are putting up the money up front, you know, but they are taking a greater percentage at the end of the day. Yeah. But does that mean that in you deciding, or any author deciding to self-publish, that you compromise the quality of your book because you're not going through a rigorous process of traditional publishing?
No, and that's where it really just depends on what you want to do. So I know there's some people that they have their book and they don't put too much fuss about it because they're not looking to make money out of it, or they're not looking to make a name for themselves. You know, they just wrote a book and they just want their friends and their family to read it, which is pretty awesome. If that's all you're looking for, then self-publishing is the way to go. But if you want to get into bookstores, if you want to make a name for yourself, then it doesn't mean that the options are not available to you. You just have to put the work into finding those options, into finding a good editor that's going to look at your work and edit it for you. But then you also upfront the cost too. So you need to pay the editor. You need to pay a photographer. So in my case, I used a really professional photographer to do the cover. I told her exactly what I wanted and she made it happen. And I was so happy about that. But, I had to pay. And so I did that. And then, you know, you have to format your own work. So it requires a lot of work. But if you like having that creative control, or you like to do the work, then it's a good way to do it. It just depends on your determination, I think. So for me, I wanted to get it into bookstores. So it was really important to me that it looked super professional. And when I do bring it to bookstores and I do go for book signings, they take a look at the cover, they take a look at the way it's formatted, and they say, wow, it's a really nice looking book. It like it could be in the store. So they take me on for book signings, and it's successful in that way.
Oh, very good. What I can say, I mean, just looking at the cover, I mean, you put a lot of emphasis on the title of the book.
Yes.
If you were to look at the font, etc., you put a lot of emphasis on the title, which is something that you want people to notice.
Yes.
But your name is not as big, so it's not a matter of you. If I'm assessing this now, the focus is not on you because your name here is so small compared to this. Some persons would have their name a lot bigger so that people will know who they are. Not that they're trying to show off or say, hey, get to know me, but they kind of balance it with the title. Not as big as a title, probably about half the size. You know, but your emphasis is really on this. So it tells me, and tell me if I'm wrong, that you really want to get the story out. Your focus is really on people knowing about what happened in history, rather than on you. You're just the instrument to make this happen. Am I correct?
You are so correct. Exactly. And plus, no one really, well, when I wrote this, no one knew me. I mean, I was just a newbie in the business. So, yeah, I mean, perhaps as I write more books, that will change because I'll have more of an audience. My audience will be growing.
Right.
But definitely the title, the story itself, as you said, I'm the instrument to get the story out into the world so people know what happened.
I want to play. I see you have a book trailer here, and I love playing these book trailers so that people can get a better idea
Sure.
of what the book is about. Let me just take a few minutes. How long is it? Let's have a look.
I
Okay,
think,
1 minute.
yeah, there you go.
That sounds like a movie. I feel like I was in the movie. Oh my God, look at that.
I know, you know what? I actually write my novels in kind of seeing it as if a movie would actually happen, which I'm really, really hoping that.
It will turn into a movie. I think it would. I think it has the makings of a beautiful movie, and
Thank
it's
you.
historical. So these type of movies are like true life,
Yeah.
reenactments, and you get really great actors to do them. And for all you know, that young lady may end up being the person selected. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, she does a great job. So I'm glad to show that. So,
Okay.
what would you tell our listeners, people who are aspiring authors, who are thinking about traditional or self-publishing? Which way? What's like we say? What's the right fit for them? How do you determine based on who you are, what you want to do, the type of book that you want to write, the time you want to get it out, the budget, because everything is depending on money. What
Yeah.
would how do they decide what's the right fit for them, whether to go traditional or self-publishing?
So two major things. Know what you want. Be very, very specific with
Mm-hmm.
what you want, how you want to see your book presented. And then number two, how do you define your own success?
Mm-hmm.
Because for you, if being successful is being a brand name, being an international author, then it's probably going to take longer and a lot more work to do that being self-published.
Mm.
And not saying you can't do it, it just takes more time and more work.
Yeah.
And but for you, if you decide, well, I want to have creative control, I want to be in charge of this project, and it doesn't mean that you can't have the best either,
Mm-hmm.
then I would go with self-publishing. So really just know what your goals are
Mm.
and how do you define your success. That's
And there's
basic.
and there's a possibility of being a hybrid author as well. You can do both. Nobody is saying that you have to do one or the other. You can
Exactly.
go both. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's actually Joanna Penn. I follow her online, and she's a
Right.
very successful hybrid author. So she does self-publishing and traditional publishing, which
Mm.
I'm actually planning to do later,
Mm.
because this whole series that I have, which is each book is set in a different province of
Mm.
Canada during a
Right.
certain time period. That's a whole series, and that I'm planning to do self-publishing, just because I really enjoyed the process and I want to do that for each book in that series. But for other ideas that I have with different series, I would definitely like to go with traditional publishing, and it's finding a fit. It also has to fit with you too and what you want. So even with traditional publishers, you can say no if you don't like the contract, or if you just don't think it's going to work. And then you can find the one that really suits your needs. So yeah, you can definitely do both.
It's a trial and error, and see the one that you really enjoy. So probably for you, what I'm getting is you like to be a part of the process. You like to be involved. You don't just want to sit back and allow somebody else to just take it and do what they want with it. You want to have a say in all, aspects of the process. You want to participate in something that you create. There are some people who they create and they're like, I don't want to see this anymore. You take it.
Exactly. I kind of think of it with traditional publishing as you're just a writer who wants to write, and that's it.
Yeah. And there are people like that.
And it's not a bad thing. It's
no.
just what you want. Like, you have to decide what's your personality, or
and that's what I'm saying.
I'm happy to let it go and let the professionals.
Yeah, because as a publisher myself, I work with authors and I know some of them, and I tell you, they don't want to hear anything after they've written the book. Yeah, they don't even want to hear make changes to the book. They don't want to hear that. They get upset. They're like, what? No, Corinne, I don't want to be doing anything else. I'm done writing. You do whatever. But you see, I can't edit the book, meaning make changes in their book. I just make the recommendations and they have to go back in because they know the storyline, and I can make the suggestions. But there are authors who just say, look, I will sit down in a corner and write this damn thing, and when I'm done, I'm done. Don't ask me to do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
and just like you said, and this is something that keeps coming up constantly when I talk to my guests and with people. It's okay. It's okay. And it's okay means it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be the type of author that just wants to write and let it go. It's okay to be the type of person that really don't care about going through a rigorous process, and you just want to do the book for family and friends and just for a self-fulfilling prophecy to say, yes, I could tick this off my list. I'm an author now. As opposed to somebody that's probably like you, that want to be a best-selling author, that wants to turn it into a movie, that wants to see your work on the big screen, that wants to have a national as well as an international impact. That's a different type of person with a different type of drive. It doesn't mean that the other person is lazy or they don't care. Or it's just your personality and what really pushes you. What's your passion? What's your drive? What motivates you? So it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, either person's is okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I say is there's no right way to do it.
Yeah.
You want to do it well.
Yeah.
So whatever way you choose to do it with your best, your best intentions, your best, the best you can do, and then let go and enjoy what you've done.
Yeah. And I mean, like we said, you could go hybrid. You can do both ways. You can go traditional as well as self-publishing. And if you're not sure, you're like on the fence and like, I don't know. Try both. See which one frustrates you more. See which one. Yeah. See which one frustrates you more. See which one brings more joy to you. And excitement. Probably both might bring excitement to you. Like, let me see what happens when I give this thing out. I send out 200 queries and I get back nothing. I'm determined I'm going to get one. So I'm going to go 210, 250. If you're like that, then do that. Whatever it takes, or if you're fed up of the process, you're like, nah, I'm not doing this again. I'm going to go self-publishing. So which one frustrates you? Or which one brings you joy? And probably both might bring you joy, because you may end up having the type of book that a traditional publisher may want to take up immediately, as well as you can self-publish. And there are lots of traditional publishing houses now that have realized, the relevance of ebooks and that type of industry, and they're offering that service so that they can keep you, you know, in one place, as opposed to you go traditional with one person and then you self-publish. So there's a bit of confusion. I like when things are in one place. If you go with a traditional publisher, you know, they do it for you, and they can also probably self-publish it, you know, under your name as well, or something, work out some arrangement, you know. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So it's up to you, whichever frustrates you and whichever brings you joy.
Yeah. Be brave enough to do the thing that you think is going to work best for you.
Yeah.
And don't feel like you need to do what people expect you to do.
Very good point.
What
Very good
culture,
point.
society's standards expect you to do.
And you know how we are influenced by that, Leah. You know how we are influenced by that.
In every area of our life, writing.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
You know, working out, the food that we eat, everything.
Everything. The man you choose, when you decide to have children, all of that. You know, where you live, what job you do, when you wake up, when you go to bed, what hobbies you like. I mean, why are people so damn controlling and want to tell you? And these are the people who don't have a life.
That's so true. Or theirs is just so miserable that they feel they need to dictate everybody else. So.
Yes. So the people who, you know, when you're looking for advice, I always say to people, look to people who have been there, done that, you know, who have experiences, gone through the mill. Don't go to somebody who don't know. So you can't be going to somebody about relationships and they don't have someone.
Yeah,
you know, you can't go to a woman for advice about mothering and parenting and she don't have children. It just makes no sense, and we tend to do that sort of crap, right?
Yeah, that's true.
We seek advice from people who don't know crap. and people who don't know crap seem to come into your life to want to tell you what to do. What is going on? So you just do you. At the end of the day, Leah, you just do you. What makes you feel good? So when we talk about the right fit for you, that is exactly what we mean. For you, not for you and Leah and Corinne and the next door neighbor and the lady in church and the man next door and the one at the store. No, it's for you. What's the right fit for you?
Embrace your personality, because you were created, you know, with a beautiful personality, whatever your personality is.
Yeah.
So embrace it and take it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This has been fabulous, Leah. This has been a wonderful, easy conversation. I just love doing this show because it allows me to get to talk to guests all over the world and just feel like I'm having a cup of tea with my friends. Yeah. This is awesome.
It's connecting with people, right? And that's what we were made for. We were made to connect with people and have deep relationships with people. So
that's right.
Yeah, this has been really great. Thank you for having me on the air with you.
Oh, it's been a wonderful, it's been a pleasure having you. And I want to see if I can get to your contact. Do you have a contact page here?
I do. It should be there.
We don't know how to contact Leah. Oh,
it's not there?
Well, I'm not seeing.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Leave a reply.
Oh, you know what? At the bottom of the page, go to the bottom. I will put up a contact Okay. There are contact info.
Who is this gorgeous little thing?
I will put a contact page for sure. I didn't realize.
Who is this little cutie that's already drinking and smoking?
That's my baby. My parents went to Cuba and they got my husband a Cuban cigar and a bottle of rum, and we just took the picture and we thought it was hilarious.
And he had to be the first one to test it out.
Exactly.
Oh my God, he will make a nice book cover. I could tell you how to smoke and drink Cuba.
No.
That's gonna sell. This is gonna sell fast. I can tell you, this is going to be a bestseller. Okay.
Oh,
It's gonna be a bestseller. Just a cute face, that works it. Oh my God. So when you guys want to reach Leah, you know how to do it here. Scroll along to her page, and I'm showing it here on the screen. Okay. She has her number. She has her email. And of course, what I would also do is leave a reply. I'm sure this will come into her email box as well. So if you go to her about page, I'm on the about, I think. Is it the about or
It is
reviews?
that, yeah.
It is the about, yes. Let me just make sure. Yes. Yes. So we're on the about page, and you can just scroll down and leave a reply for her. She will contact you. Okay.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Leah, for being on Between the Lines. And before I go, I see you have two lovely little stamps here. Yeah. Yes, Shelf Unbound 2016 Best Indie Book Runner-Up and finalist. Tell us quickly about that before we go. Let's end with a bang.
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, I just entered those contests. I think it was last year, both of them. Yeah. And I didn't think I was going to get any placement, but I did. So it's exhilarating when you have someone else saying, validating your work, saying, you know, this was good enough that you got this place. So that's, yeah. And yeah, just because you're self-published doesn't mean you can't enter contests or you can't enter to win an award. So definitely go for it.
That's right. That's right. And that's a great point to end on, because people feel that they, you know, only through traditional publishing, they get that kind of visibility. But there are sometimes that you pushing your own book, because don't feel that when you're traditionally published, that the publishing house is the one that's responsible for doing all the work. You have to take, oh yes, you have to take on the work. It's your work. It's your baby. Not with the cigar and the drink, but it's your baby, right? Yeah, it's your baby, and you have to take care of your baby, and don't just sit back and wait for the money to roll in. It's not going to roll in like that. No, no, no. That's a dream. You know, no, it's not going to work like that. It's your baby. You have to take it and run with it. And sometimes you have to push the traditional publishing house and say, hey, this is happening. See what you can do for me here. What and what. You have to drive that process. So either way, if you go traditional or self-publishing, there is work.
Yes.
There is work. So if you feel you're running away from the work by going indie or self-publishing, no, no, no. There is work. There is work both ways. Okay. Exactly. So I say go for it. Go for being a hybrid, or go for being self-publishing or traditional if you wish, but be prepared to do the work either way. So thank you so much, Leah, for being here. I'm trying to get this image up. I don't think this is the right one. Let me see here now. I'm trying to get this image up so that it can show bigger on the screen. This one is clickable. Beautiful. So that persons can see your book. Yeah? Yes. So thank you so much for being on Between the Lines. It's been a pleasure. It's been a wonderful conversation. Keep doing what you're doing. I look forward to seeing your next novel out. And I expect, and I'm saying this, I expect to see and hear from you that a movie is going to be coming out on your first book here, Redeemed from the Ashes.
Yes.
I'm expecting.
Corinne, I'm going to work and work and work until it is. So I'm not letting that go of that dream. That's going to happen one day. I promise.
One day. And just remember to send me my ticket for the red carpet. I'm ready.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Leah, for being on Between the Lines.
Thank you.